This is the Retirement Bullpen with Richard Warner. The team at Warner Financial Solutions want to help you feel confident about your retirement, no matter where you stand. Get more at warnerfinancialsolutions.com. Now, the Retirement Bullpen.
Welcome back to the Retirement Bullpen here with Richard Warner. He's out of Nebraska, and he wants to help you out, and he's financial advisor and, of course, the founder of that. And, Richard, good morning to you. We're so glad to get on here, get the technical gremlins out of the way, and get talking about retirement. How's your day going?
Going good so far. How about you?
Oh, it's going real well, thank you. I love getting down and getting to do these because I learn a lot, very selfishly. I mean, I talk for a living. I'm not a financial advisor. In fact, you're a retirement income certified professional. I'm certainly not that. Over at Warner Financial Solutions, just outside or the greater Omaha area, as we'll say, it's Auburn, Nebraska, right?
Yes, sir. I live in Auburn, but do a lot of work up in Omaha as well as Lincoln, so.
There you go. So Omaha and Lincoln, warnerfinancialsolutions.com. And doing great over here. And you know, when I hear the word Auburn, I start thinking football. I live in the South. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, all that really big around here, particularly the Dogs. So but are you a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan? Do you follow that at all? Or is that a big part of your fall?
If you are born in Nebraska, it is illegal for you, I think, to not be a Nebraska Husker football fan. So,
okay.
No, but I always have been. Yes. I'm kind of joking around, but yeah.
No, I know. I'm sure if it was illegal, we'd have a Supreme Court case here. So
they make us become fans here. How do you think they keep that stadium full every weekend?
That's fair. That's fair. I haven't even been following them this football season. We're recording this a couple of weeks before people hear it. But have the Cornhuskers been any good?
Right now, they've only lost one game in overtime. So
okay.
They've been playing better than they have in quite a few years. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of tumult yes. There, tumultuous times there. Well, that's fun. Do you actually make it out to any of the games, or that's better watched on your big screen at home?
I've made 3 so far this year. So
was that all?
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's
3 or 4 is normally what I do in a year. So I don't get season tickets, but because I can't make them to make it to all of them. But yeah, we're gonna go to a away game this year too. So
cool. Do you know which one yet?
Yeah, we're already set up to go to the USC game out in Los Angeles.
No way.
Like mid-November, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be a very, very quick trip, Friday afternoon to Sunday morning.
And wow, okay, goodness gracious! And then
you've been out there before. Try to go to a one away game a year, but doesn't always happen. But usually it's somewhere close, like we go to Iowa or something like that. But
yeah.
But this year we're getting tired of going to Iowa, so we're going somewhere different.
So why not go to LA? Well, that'll be a tight turnaround for sure. A lot of fun, couple time zone hops and all that. Well, let's get into this week. We wanted to discuss when to start drawing Social Security, and there is a strategy for this. In fact, I saw, I've seen articles written recently about whether by choice or not, a larger percentage than I expected actually take it as soon as possible. And of course, there are different strategies whether to do it or not, but sometimes people don't have a choice. So let's kind of get into that subject and open up the vault about when or when not to take Social Security, Richard.
So just to comment on what you just said, people tend to take it earlier. I have found personal experience, that's a fear-based tactic. And what I mean by a fear-based tactic is a lot of people will turn it on because they're afraid it's going to be gone, that they're not going to get anything out of the system. They want to get it while they can. Some of them, they're not sure how long they're going to live, so they want to get as many payments as possible. So first thing is, you don't want to do it out of fear. You want to do your Social Security planning based on your overall situation. So number one, are you still working? If you're still working and you're looking to turn Social Security on early, like 62, 63, you've got to be careful with how much income you make. You make too much income, you're going to give some of that Social Security back. So you want to avoid that because that's basically money you're just giving back to the government, and you don't probably necessarily need it right now. Yeah. So you don't want to make that decision out of fear because it will likely cost you money at some point. Again, it depends upon how long you live. This decision would be easy if we knew exactly when you are going to die. So that plays a role into it. When we're having a conversation with people in our office or in their home, whatever it might be, or over the phone sometimes initially, is when do you want to retire? Number one. Secondly, and this is a weird question for a lot of people, is how long do you think you're going to live? And I say that Because some people, based on their siblings, based on their parents, based on their grandparents, think, yeah, I might be around till I'm in my mid or late 90s based on that. And then some people based on their, and they'll just be honest a lot of times, well, I've made a lot of good life choices. I've done this, or this. I won't share, but I'd be lucky if I make it to 85. And so these types of conversations come into play when determining, do we want to wait longer, even into retirement? So do we want to wait longer into retirement to turn that thing on? Because each year you wait past your full retirement age, you get a guaranteed bump, not only the cost of living adjustment, but you get a guaranteed bump of 8% up until you hit age 70. So that can benefit you, especially if you have other sources of income. Now, I will say I've been finding more and more people that want to time up their Social Security when they retire. And that does make a lot of sense in a lot of situations for a lot of different reasons.
And then there's people that get pushed into retirement a little bit early too, right? They're working at a job and suddenly at age 58 it goes away, and they may not be able to go snag that full-time job for the last 2, 5, 7 years that they had originally planned to work. And I guess that factors in to decision, not being made out of fear, but they think it's out of necessity.
Right. Yeah. So there are some scenarios, and I've run into these where because of a layoff, or actually the more common one can be a health change. Like a person has something terrible like cancer or a major heart issue or something that does not allow them to work, at least in the field they had been working in for most of their life anymore. And that does put them in a situation that, sometimes they don't have any choice but to take it as soon as possible, which it's not necessarily the wrong decision. You just have to base it on your situation. What are your other income sources when you retire? What are you making at the time you're looking to turn on Social Security if you are working? Because some people do turn on their Social Security and keep working, and that can work. But you just have to make sure you're not giving any of that money back to the government.
And so that's definitely something that we got to navigate. So how does that work if because basically there is a reward for waiting to take it, right? I mean, if you can maximize the amount you get per month, whereas you could, quote, blow your wad early. So what are some of those benchmarks?
So for most people retiring today, the full retirement age is 67. Okay. For you and me, it's 67. Now, I personally think that's going to get pushed back just because that's some of the changes they're looking to keep the system.
You pushed to be older, like
right. So at one time it was 65. When Social Security started, the retirement age was 65. Then it got pushed off to 66, and then they've got this. So some people retiring now are hitting 66 in 8 months, 10 months, but most people it's 67. So if you're logging into your Social Security login or you are looking at your Social Security statement, okay, it's going to say full retirement age payment on there. Okay, that's probably 67 for most people. Every year you take it early, you're going to have roughly a 7 to 8% reduction in that payment. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you also have to pass the earnings test, which means if you make too much money, and that number fluctuates every year, but it's not a lot of income. If you make too much income, for every $2 you go over, you're going to give $1 back.
Oh.
So if you go over income-wise $10,000, you're giving $5,000 of your Social Security benefit back when you do your taxes the first year. And then they're going to adjust the payment after that going forward. So you'll lose that amount prorated in your payment until you can prove you're not making that income anymore.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it can be a lot of money. I've seen some people that walked into it and didn't know what they were choosing to do, and they made the wrong choice, and it cost them some money. Now, every year you wait past your full retirement age, you get an 8% bump in benefit. So, for example, if your primary payout amount is $1,000 a month, at 67, at 68, it's going to be $1,080. If it's $2,000 a month, it's going to be $2,160. But that's on top of the cost of living adjustment. So a year or so ago, we had over an 8% cost of living adjustment. So that person that waited that year would actually receive over a 16% increase in that payment. Now, you're going to get that cost of living adjustment either way. Okay.
Yeah.
But in that particular year, people that waited, that's a pretty big jump in payment amounts. So it can be advantageous to wait. Plus, there's some tax benefits to waiting because not all your Social Security, not to get in a tax conversation as well today, but your Social Security, because we can really get going in all kinds of directions when you start talking about Social Security. But the more Social Security you have, so the more your income is based on your Social Security, the less overall it implicates your taxes. So you could potentially live in a very low or no income tax environment in retirement, at least for a few years.
And see, we're just scratching the surface of this stuff, Richard, and that's why people need to come into the retirement bullpen. All right, like it's if we're thinking a baseball bullpen, you're just in there for a few minutes warming up, and then you're out to pitch. But when somebody comes to WarnerFinancialSolutions.com, they schedule that meeting. You're not just doing a quick bullpen session. All right, this is a full look at the windup, a full diagram of their pitches, so to speak, to try to the shaping of the pitches, you will, to keep the baseball metaphor going, to really dig into this, because some people are going to qualify for any of these different levers versus others. And that is a really tough thing to try to do on one's own. They really need somebody with, in your case, over 20 years of experience, and with your own firm, 12 years plus of experience to do that.
Right. I mean, just going back to the baseball analogy, sometimes I've got a kid coming in that's pitching that we just got to redo the whole mechanics, the whole plan of what they're trying to get to. Same thing happens in this retirement, especially with Social Security. A lot of people come in with a preconceived notion, this is what I should do. And a lot of times it's driven by what somebody else they knew did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and my dad did this. It worked.
My dad did this, or my brother did this, or my best friend did this, or my whatever. Okay, my friend from coffee did this. But their situation could be completely different than your situation. So you definitely want to sit down and analyze what is driving your income in retirement, and then how does Social Security fit into it, and what's the best way to get the most out of it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great way to probably leave that off right now, because my goodness, if you try to do this again think it very simply, so and so did this, or I've seen this work. Hey, maybe it did work 12 years ago, but what about now? Then you need to talk to somebody who's brushed up on the laws, the rules, and everything to help you navigate that. And that, of course, is Richard Warner, Retirement Income Certified Professional. I mean, it's in the credentials right there. Retirement Income Certified Professional. All right. It says certified. It's got all the words. You need to get with WarnerFinancialSolutions.com. And not only, Richard, can they schedule a meeting, but they have a newsletter they can subscribe to, too, that I'm sure has different facets of this.
Correct. Yeah. But the best way to really gather the information you need in your situation is going to be specific, because I can throw you all kinds of different examples and scenarios, but your situation is just going to be slightly different. It's just like when somebody comes through to one of our workshops, one of our retirement workshops, there's a lot of great examples, but they don't really get the most out of it unless they sit down one-on-one and we kind of break it down and look at it from their standpoint. And sometimes that can be done over a phone call too. Sometimes in 20 or 30 minutes on the phone, we can do that. So they don't necessarily have to have that scary meeting with me.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah. And look, you're intimidating. No, I'm just kidding. You're not at all. No, you're good.
It can be for some. I mean, I understand that, when I'm going to meet somebody I've never met before about something I don't know a lot about, I'm feeling a little bit of anxiousness myself. So I understand why people push this thing off. You know what I mean? They just, I don't need to do that yet, or I can figure this out on my own. There's that anxiety of meeting something, learning something new, and, we'll have a lot of fun. We'll relax. I'll tell a few bad jokes. So it won't be a bad experience.
Hey, well, listen, here's a joke for you about retirement. We'll leave off on this. What kind of person likes Mondays?
I don't know.
Someone who's retired. Okay, that's it. All right, someone who's retired. That's it. We got more of those.
That is a good point. There's a lot of truth to that one.
It really is. Yeah. And then how many retirees does it take to change a light bulb?
Another good one I don't know the answer to.
It only takes one, but it'll take all day. and if you want to go through that day with your things in order, okay, so you have time to really work on getting that light bulb at just the right tension in the socket, okay, then make sure the retirement stuff is in order with the retirement bullpen here. Richard Warner, Warner Financial Solutions there in Nebraska. Thanks so much to producer Brandon Benefield, by the way, for putting this all together and zapping it out into the cloud. And thank you, Richard, for spending time.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
The pleasure's mine. Yeah, we'll do this again very shortly. Our past episodes, by the way, most recently, we're talking about the election in your retirement strategy, and also having some proactive strategies for retirement as a whole. So be sure to check those out on Apple, Spotify, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and if you think there's someone in your life that needs to hear about it, make sure to pass it on to them. He's Richard Warner. I'm Doug Turnbull. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Retirement Bullpen.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Warner Financial. Warner Financial is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Warner Financial are not subject to investment advisor requirements. NPN number 7617022. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be considered as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Warner Financial is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Warner Financial.